Taliban, they started taking the tribal traditions into their own hand, and that is where we call the army to expel them. In the tribal area, the Jirgas are very good, very fine. Yes, but there are also in certain cases against international human rights. The Maliks, they were getting huge amounts for their role, whatever it was, and certain religious elements, Maulana Fazlur Rahman, for their background. For my coming to this area was that many people did not understand the tribal traditions and practices and how the government should act in each case. So we did that. I did that, and we were quite successful. I am remembered even now, although I stayed only for 5 years, 2 years as a Secretary Home and Tribal Affairs, and then we created a Tribal Affairs Secretariat, of which I was the Secretary. So whatever we were learning, we were implementing it, and we knew about it, and I have been for quite some time, at least 2 years, in Balochistan also. So I know the traditions there also and here also, and I was asking why can't people implement the traditions, speak the same language as those people, and then you ask them, come up with the answers, and that is how you will be in a lead role. And I won't say that we were a failure. We in fact came. It was still brewing up, and then came a time when these people started what you call Taliban. They started taking the tribal traditions into their own hand, and that is where we call the army to expel them, and that is how it happened. Later on, when I left that job, then probably the people who came, they had a sort of weak attitude towards the tribal area, and therefore they surrendered in many cases. But I was still active in the sense that the Army Chief General Kiani was a friend of mine, and he would call me and ask for my advice, and I would give him straight away, and I should go ahead with the Swat operation, throw these people out, then subsequently in Bajaur agency and in Buner. So these people are thrown out. This was followed by operation in North Waziristan and South Waziristan. So these people were thrown out, and the tribal area was put back with whatever their traditions and laws were with that. And then came a stage where we thought that the Pakistan Constitution should be implemented in this area. Whatever the difficulties initially there would be, and these are there. This is a gradual process which is applicable to rest of KP, which I told you that it was also under FCR, under the tribal system. But there came a time where this tribal system was finished, and the constitution or the courts took over. And in many cases, people were not satisfied with the courts. I remember in my younger days, and I belong to Mardan, people used to kill each other, and they did not have any confidence in the courts. Like somebody kills someone and then he is arrested by the police and there is a case going on. People said no case. They would kill the man who has done the killing. So this was on, but now slowly and steadily the courts have come, and those individuals themselves seeking revenge has done away with in many cases. Although in some of the cases like Buner, probably it is still on. But the law and order situation in Mardan, Charsadda, Peshawar, Swat, Buner, it has improved a lot, and that is how the law is operating. The same will be the case in the tribal area. Initially, there will be difficulties, and there are difficulties. So far, no court inside the tribal area is existing, but I think slowly and steadily they will shift into the tribal area. You have the police now there instead of khasadars, and the police knows which particular section of law will apply to this man, and this case goes to the court systems. So this is how these are the situations presently, and I think there is nobody is saying that we are a failure and that we should turn about. No, nobody does that. There are people who are taking advantage of the previous system. For example, the Maliks, they were getting huge amounts for their role, whatever it was, and maybe certain religious elements, Maulana Fazlur Rahman for that matter. So they are the ones who will say that we should go back to that system. and they said that this was done in a hurry and thing like this. No, I don't think it is so. It is not so. I thought, and since I belong to this area and I am from the settled area and I have worked in the tribal area, many things which were later on when the merger took place, I had written it 2 years ago. Those files, about 100 of them, that how will the police behave, how will be the civil administration, how will be the jail system, and we made jails in all the tribal areas. Previously there were no jails. There was only one jail in Kurum Agency which the Britisher had made. But in the remaining, so we made jails and applied the jail rules. I mean, you will not believe, but I went there and he said, oh, why have you got this man? He said he is under arrest. And I would say, okay, I would like to see it. And he has been tied to a charpai with ropes. Now, this is, since you haven't been there, but I have been there, I said, this is inhuman. No, education is not only in the number of schools and colleges that you have there. Education also travels along the roads. So we said make roads. And all those areas which are not accessible, something like Kurum Agency or Aurangzeb Agency, it would take 4 days to reach Peshawar. So we insisted on this road construction that when people there, they come and roam about in Peshawar and they go back and they again come and they again. This mixing up gives them a lot of knowledge. Education travels along the road. This is what we used to say. So besides schools, every day you should go forward. When we in the settled area, I have seen my parents, I have seen my grandparents, and they used to talk of something, they used to do something, but I could see that it is back home to the tribal systems. But now with the time, the tribal system has been taken away, and all these things which we are talking about, that if you have a jail, there will be a jail manual, you have courts, there will be legal experts who will put the charges, argue the case, and then whatever the punishment the man deserves will be given by the courts. So this what is the system in whole of the world. And in the tribal area, it is said that jirgas are very good, very fine. Yes, but there are also certain cases against international human rights. I gave you an example of a girl burnt alive. And we were to explain to the world, and we can't say that it is a tribal area. They say tribal area, so what? There is no law, you mean to say there? We say no, there is a law and there is a... So, and that was also a problem. There were some Chinese engineers who were kidnapped in South Waziristan, and there the tribal which was there, we said get hold of them, they are in your area. So they got hold of them and put the people around them with weapons. So then I went there and I said that no, you hand over to the army, and we had got the army people there. So they said we can't, as per the tradition. So I said, what do you have to do? He said, I have to, he was the elder of the tribe. He said, I have to put it before Dre Masood Jirga. So, and I have to present 2 dumbas, what you call in English. So we purchased 2 dumbas for them, and he said, you go to Dre Masood Jirga and tell them that it is beyond you now and you would like to hand it over to the army. And they agreed, they said, okay, you did your duty, and now the army. So the government also has limits what it can do, but it can try to do it. I would say that try doing it, don't accept failure, and these are not failures. You are overcoming centuries old traditions. And there was a Jirga who came and he said they had given sort of protection to a person who had killed a man in Kohat. So I said, okay, if that happens, the administration or the government side calls them that you hand over this man who is a murderer. And they say, no, we can't, because we have given, they call it some tradition, we have done this. So they came to me and said that, sir, we can't do this because our traditions are these. I said, how come your traditions are these? You will side by the person who is a victim and not a murderer. They said murderer is a victim. How is he a victim? So you hand over this man to us, and I will start an operation in your area and remove all the infrastructure that you have in the mountains for keeping such people there, because they would come and do murder and cohort, and then they will go into those offices, and they would be very finely, they would be eating, they would be like this. So this you do away with. Maybe that you don't succeed 100%, but you succeed in certain cases, and they also spread the word about you that he doesn't listen to anything. No nonsense is to be listened to, and otherwise then you say that yes, we will go by your traditions, we will go by justice. Your tradition is justice. I was telling the Jirga that your parents and maybe grandparents, they were just people, not like you. You are trying to do injustice to this man who has been killed. So like this, I think the government should continue forward. It's not that you just say that, okay, this is our tradition, we kill the man who is committing a crime. Because this is written with them. This is what we call Thorum Korum Toruna. It is basically the propaganda of those people who were beneficiaries of the old system. Like in the old system, there will be tons of money go there, the political agent distributes it to this Malak, that Malak. And they are always talking about, if I used to send somebody to go there to a political agent, then he would think that he has sent him because I should give. So they would give some money to him. And then I would say, who told you to give him money? It was all money matters to few individuals. They were either Maliks or they were either political agent himself was involved in this, the political administration, for APS, Tahsildars and some others. But you cut off all these things, there is no way to run an administration. You have to run it through law, through legal systems, through policing systems, which are in the, maybe initially they have some problems. For example, the police is not as active as the Khasadars were. But it's all right. It is question of time. The sort of progress that we have made here, I think for the Baloch area, is that you spread the administration to the last village. Only then you will be able to implement. In the tribal area, we said create that. And that is the same formula. That why don't you have police everywhere? Why have these Khasadar? Khasadar belong to the tribe. If the tribe does something wrong, they will join with their own tribe because they have to live there. They have their parents, they have their children, and here you tell them that no, act against the tribe. So all these things are old things. I would say there is no end in describing the tribal area. Slowly and steadily you will find the police becoming effective, the courts becoming effective. If you have education, once Sardar or whatever they have came and said that you have sent a girl for teaching there to my area. I said, yes, you asked me and I did. So he says that she is not beautiful. You sent a beautiful girl. So I said, look at this idiot. What is he asking? And I told even the governor, because he's going to go back and complain to the governor against his secretary. So I told him he was telling this. And he's an old man. He is a beard which he has colored as red through Mehndi or something. And he's saying he's the teacher that you have sent. So many things which can't be described.